So I'm going to record this. That'll allow us to send it out to people that can't join us. If you missed something, you'll get the link as well. So you'll always have this as a resource to go back to. But otherwise, we'll kind of kick things off. So happy Monday and welcome to BCPTI almost. This is sort of a nice official intro and we're super close. I'm sitting up top in our new location because it looks clean and organized from here. We're still doing a little bit of work to get the gym space in the classroom up and running, but it's very exciting. So we're working hard and looking forward to inviting you into our space for our live program, which we haven't done for the last couple months. So kick things off a little bit here. We wanted to go over through some of the basics, make sure that everybody has what they need in terms of the PTA global account. So we'll do a little bit of a tour through that, make sure that you know what to be working on. And then we'll just spend some time today with any Q&As that you have. We've got a few different programs going on. We've got a few different things happening. So just make sure that everybody has a chance to figure out what's going on. So without further ado, my name is Logan. I'm the director here at the BC Personal Training Institute. So it's a pleasure to meet you all. I'm going to admit a few more people. There we go. I'm going to, have the opportunity to explain some of the stuff that you need to know. And I'll certainly be one of the instructors that you'll see during the program. So looking forward to getting into all of that. What I would like to do is actually open it up to all of you so that you can say hello. And what we'd love to know is what your name is, where you're from, what area you live in, maybe a little bit about why you were interested in becoming a personal trainer or what you want to do with it. That just sort of helps us learn a little bit about sort of who's on the call and what the backgrounds are that we have. So no pressure, no stress, but just a quick little introduction. Some of you will end up being in class together. Some of you, you'll just see a name pop up on the group chat as people are in different classes. So what I'll do is actually kick it over to Josh first. If you want to unmute and say hello, introduce yourself, and then I'll kind of call out and we'll go around the group from there. Josh, can you hear us? I can see you moving. I don't have your audio on.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Hey, unmute. Very powerful button. Awesome. So thank you for the intro, Logan. My name's Josh, Joshua Russell, and I'm one of the instructors going to be partnering with Logan. I've got a lot of experience with corrective exercise and performance enhancements, the legitimate work hard type of performance enhancements. I've spent a lot of time as an athlete in my younger days and just always had a passion for fitness and jumped into the career about 5 years ago as a personal trainer in White Rock, South Surrey. And I've loved it so much. It's been such a great job and such a great career that I've wanted to try and give back, and that's kind of why I've joined the education team for the last couple of years. So I'm hoping to teach you guys what I know. I'm hoping to learn from you guys as well. And most importantly, just looking at having a really good time, all in the name of fitness.
Awesome. Love it. Thanks, Josh. Yeah, so both the day and the hybrid class will have a chance to do some work with Josh between the various Zoom and live things. And he also teaches some of our continuing education. So at the point where you've earned your CPT and you're now looking to learn more things, he's the one that heads up some of the additional programs like the corrective exercise specialist certification and stuff like that. So he's a great partner for me to have. We work together really well. He's always a cheery, happy person, which is awesome to have in a colleague. So I'm looking forward for you guys to meet with him and work with him. He brings a lot to the table, so it's awesome to have him. All right. So I'll sort of go around here and I'll call out your name, and if you can unmute yourself and introduce yourself, that'd be a great way for us to get to know each other a little bit. So I'm going to start in my top corner. Toko, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, it's so exciting to see you guys. Very nice to meet you. I work at the immigration consulting company as an assistant, and then I've been always I always liked exercise, but since last year I started to go to gym more regularly, and I started to get very interested in becoming a personal trainer. And I've been looking at the pamphlets that has Logan's picture quite some time since last year. And then I was thinking my work finished at 5, sometimes a little bit later. So I was thinking, oh, I won't be able to make it to, 5:30 to the location. And then because of COVID-19, now I think like, oh, I can do this now. So that's why I just jumped in, and I'm so excited to have the live class. And yeah, just, I don't know. I'm getting nervous. I'm just too excited.
That's great.
And,
No, thank you
yeah,
very much.
I just can't wait.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Fitness people are always happy. That's one of the things that's so great about getting to do this job. Thanks, Toko. Awesome. All right. 449870. I don't have your name written down, but let's unmute you and
Okay, my name is Cameron, and I was working in construction, but I got laid off, so it's kind of works out for me perfectly. I started doing the financial advisor course, and I have a lot of friends that they was always asking about my workout routine and everything. So I kind of want to know more details about this one and just give it back. Just my main reason is just to help you, and from the help, if anything comes out, beautiful. If it's not, then I guess I'll be helping a few people that know that I influenced their life.
awesome.
So I think it's gonna go.
Okay, awesome. So Cameron, if I'm correct, you're joining us from Nanaimo, is that right?
Yes, sir. I am joining from Steve Nash.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, so we've got some students joining us from Vancouver Island this time around, and then we've got some people that are local to the mainland. So that's a little bit of where the groups kind of split themselves off. So that's awesome. Thank you so much. That's a great gym over there and a really cool team. So it'll be nice to see if getting into that space is what feels right for you. That's great. Thanks, Cam. We actually had him sign up just this morning. So awesome to see all the pieces come together. Great. All right, next on my screen, Callum. If you want to unmute yourself and say hello.
Hi, so as Logan said, my name is Callum. So for the last several years, for me personally, I was in a bit of a soul-sucking career as a data analyst, and I learned that it just wasn't for me. And I knew I wanted to make this personal training change for a while now, but I crippled my leg in an accident, for the last 3 years, I haven't been able to do much. But after recent surgery, I'm back 100%. And I know now is the time to make this change, that I'm operating at maximum capacity. And a little bit more about me and why I chose personal training is, for me, fitness and being muscular, that sort of thing, has always been an uphill battle for me. I've never been naturally inclined to do this, but I always knew I wanted to. And so I think I have a good perspective when it comes to training people who, are naturally genetically stubborn and have an uphill battle. So I thought I would give back with all of my learning, because it's been a long time to get to where I am.
Awesome. We call that the skinny to brawny program.
Yeah.
Excellent. Awesome. So Callum just moved to BC somewhat recently. So cool to have you here and landed. And we're excited to have you joining us and getting into a career that's soul fulfilling instead of going in the opposite direction. That's great. Thanks, Callum.
Thanks, Logan. It's good to be here.
All right. With those badass helicopter headphones on, Nate, we're coming to you next.
Yeah, I didn't have any earphones, so that's the earphones that I have right now.
It looks great, man. It looks really good.
Yeah, you can tell I'm a nerd because I got a gamer set. So my name's Nate. It's nice to meet you guys. My dad's been in the fitness industry for more than 20 years. I've played rugby, done taekwondo, swimming, but much like Caleb, I was kind of in a rut kind of job. I just sat down in an office chair all day. I was 215, and I recently got into a new job at a grocery store for 40 hours a week. I'm on my feet all the time, so I lost like 25 pounds. I'm 195 now. I'm really skinny, but I'm trying to bulk up a bit as well. I've gotten into a car accident at the beginning of the job, so it was really hard for me to just go to the day-to-day. And so trying to get my back and everything back in order, very similar story, has been a struggle, but I'm, again, 100% like Caleb said, and just looking to improve and see where I can go. And I feel like I'd love to, again, give back and teach. I like seeing the progress of others and when people are passionate about things. So if I can help them reach their goals and also reach mine, I think that'd be sick. So that's me.
Awesome. Thanks, Nate. Josh is like throwing you some amens over there because he's a former grocery store guy turned
Hey,
trainer. So there's a nice connection there. We like that. Awesome.
good
And
stuff.
congratulations to you on your recovery and getting back at it. So that's
Thanks.
really great. We're definitely gonna be able to benefit a little bit too from Tony's knowledge. I'm sure you'll be able to lean on him a little bit and also introduce us to some stuff that he's a specialist in. He's a great colleague of mine, so it's always nice to see the family legacy happening a little bit. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Amro, coming to you next.
Hey everyone, my name is Amro and I recently moved here to Vancouver, New York. I've always had a passion for fitness, so I thought maybe I would take it to the next level. And BCPTI seems like the stepping stone to this journey. And we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. My earbuds cut out a little bit. Did you say you were from New York?
No, I moved from New York. I'm originally from Sudan.
Okay.
Not a lot of news coming out from
Awesome.
yeah.
I feel like New York is a good fit for how dynamic and fast-paced the fitness industry is. So I feel like you're gonna bring that New York hustle into the fitness realm. That's awesome.
Rock on.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, Amro. All right, moving on. Mateo, I can't see you, but it looks like you're here. So if you want to unmute and say hello, we'd love to meet you.
Hi, can you see me?
Yeah, we
Hear
can
me?
see you.
Okay.
Great. Awesome.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name is Mateo. I'm from Victoria. And I came across this personal training stuff on like an ad, I think, on either Instagram or like LinkedIn or something, because I was looking for a new job. And my gym reopened, Fitness World in Victoria, so I got a job there and signed up for this personal training thing because I've always wanted to be more involved in sort of fitness industry. And I graduated this year from high school at Mount Doug, and I'm taking business at UVic online at the same time in this fall. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to learning a lot of new stuff about personal training and help people meet their goals sometime in the future in the gym. So yeah, really like that kind of stuff. Thank you.
Awesome. And if you want to share a little bit about your own training or your own athletic background, because I think that was pretty interesting when you shared it with me.
Yeah, so I've always been like, I played a lot of sports throughout high school and like past few years. Most recently, I played football, Mount Doug Rams football for 2 years. And I found that like I was usually like a taller, lanky kind of kid, but I started hitting the gym like more seriously like 11th grade. And I really bulked up for my football program. And yeah, I found that just like, I really enjoyed like seeing the transformation from like skinny to more like muscular and like seeing that definition come in the size and I don't know, just the strength gains that come with it too are really cool for me. So yeah.
How much did you have to eat, Mateo?
I ate a lot. I would wake up early and get like wake up early, get a meal in, like a pre-breakfast meal even, and then I'd like on my way to school I would eat my actual breakfast in the car. I would eat like a huge like egg burrito with a bunch of meat in it, and then I would eat like in school. Like at first I felt awkward bringing like these big tubs of like rice with meat and all this stuff to school, and I felt like I was like eating it and I felt like awkward. But then like once I started doing it, like everyone in the football program, like everyone started like kind of doing the same thing, and it just became like more natural because like it made sense to see like all these football players like eating all this food in lunch break and bringing all these like pre-made meals. So
There you
it
go,
really
man.
helped
That's
like
great.
find energy for training after school and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that's the missing piece for a lot of people is understanding that component. It's funny. I can totally relate because when I was an athlete at university, we were allowed to go to the cafeteria for 3 meals a day, but like you got to eat 4 to 6 times. So I would go with like a Tupperware container in my backpack, and I would go get all my food on my plate, and I would eat a bite, and I would shove a bite into the Tupperware container on my lap. And so that way I was like, I'd go up for a couple plates worth, and I'd leave the cafeteria with my secret stash of Tupperware to eat in between. So yeah, there's some there's some other components beyond just the reps and the sets that that are fun to learn about and see how that makes the change. Right on.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you with us, the Soul Victoria boy, which is kind of where I grew up. So
Cool.
I'll forgive you for being a Ram. I was from the other high school, but we're glad to have you in the program. Thanks, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
All right, awesome. Carmen, if you can hear us, we'd love to say hello. No, that's Reagan. Sorry, you just put it in the chat, and I just forgot that. Can you unmute and say hello? See something in the chat box. Don't think my mic is working. All right, cool. Well, if you wanna type it real quick, I'll read it out for the rest of the group since you're in the chat anyways. I know Reagan's from Abbotsford, so we got that going on. I'll let you type while I ask the next person to introduce themselves, Reagan, and then oh, Chilliwack, my bad. Yeah, type a few things and I'll have the next person intro them and then I'll read it out for you. How about that? Okay, so Mukanj, coming to you next then.
Hi, my name is Vakanj from Surrey. Fitness has been like a big part of my life for the last 4 years. Been doing boxing, doing cardio every day, and just been going to the gym anytime I can. I just have a passion for fitness, and I think teaching other people would just be something I'd enjoy, and that's why I want to get into this program.
Awesome. Yeah, he's being humble. When we met, we were chatting a little bit about what he's accomplished as a boxer and a fighter. It's pretty impressive. So it might be fun to have you hold some pads for us and show us how it's done, buddy.
I'd love to.
Yeah, awesome. All right, thank you so much. Let me check my chat box here and see what I can add. There we go. All right, so Reagan from Chilliwack just graduated from high school, so congratulations on that in the craziness that is this current time. She started working out when she was 12, so she's got some good experience there and is currently recovering from or is recovered from orthorexia. So that's awesome. It's going to be a really interesting layer of experience to have to help people dealing with similar things. So that's great. And I remember from our conversation, she was really excited to be able to join the program. So basically, we're taking advantage of turning 18 and writing the exam right after that and sort of getting after it. So Reagan's always wanted a career in fitness, and we're excited to have her here to get started. Thanks so much. Awesome. We'll you and I can chat a little bit about sorting out mic and stuff for future calls. We'll make sure that we can have you inputting for yourself. Thanks, Reagan. There we go. All right, awesome. So there's definitely a handful of people that were at work or had other things going on today and weren't able to join us. So you'll see various names and faces pop up as you're coming to class. But at this point, what I wanted to do is just walk through the 3 documents that I sent out in the intro email, make sure that everybody has their account set up. And since we've got a couple of days before we're going to be able to go live, I'll just kind of give you a few things that I think it would be worth starting to get ahead on a little bit. So I'm going to do some screen sharing here and show you what we have. And then once I go through that, if you have any questions, we'll make sure everybody knows what they need to know. So we'll get started with the PTA Global document. We need to go through those steps to make sure that you actually have access to your online account. Mateo, I know we're going to sort yours out after the call here. So what you need to have is your own PTA Global account. And what's important is that the name you register with matches the name on your government photo ID, because they're going to look at that when you go to write your exam at the testing center. So as you go through the setup, what we want to make sure is that you don't pay the registration fee there. So using the code will give you a $0 course. You've already paid your registration with us. And then what that does is gets you set up with your PTA Global account. So at the point where you go through the checkout here, you'll get an email directly from them that allows you to access your account. And we'll do a sort of a quick tour of that stuff so that you know what to be looking for there. So I'm going to pull up my own and show you guys a few things. 1 second here. Log in and go. All right, cool. screen share. So mine has a few extra things on it because I've got other courses that I've loaded. But when you first log on, it takes you to sort of an education dashboard, and a couple of the things just to sort of walk you through. One of the things that you'll have access to long-term through this program is the program design tool. And that's actually going to give you over 800 templates to work with clients. So we're certainly going to do a lot with program design. We're going to teach a lot of assessments and how to customize. But this is a nice resource because sometimes it's hard to start with a blank page and come up with a full workout. So what I suggest around using this is if you go in and choose a goal, a style, and a level. So let's say for Nate, he's wanting to put on a little bit of lean body mass, and he likes a fairly traditional program. And transitional just means kind of an intermediate client. So someone who's already been doing a little bit of stuff, looking to take things to the next level. What that does is it brings up a 12-week program, and we can go in and look at the individual workouts. So usually with a transitional program, it'll give you 2 workouts per week. So sometimes that helps to match up to the number of sessions that a client is going to be working with you. So it gives you a warm-up, it gives you your goal-based movement section, which you can think of as the workout. So there's workout number 1, and then there's workout number 2. So one of the things that we suggest is you can use these programs as templates. So a barbell deadlift to a power shrug is essentially a hinge movement with a little bit of power in it. If I was working with Nate and I was like, I don't think he's quite ready for power yet because he's had a little bit of stuff going on with his back, we want to make that a slightly easier movement. I still want to program a hinge because that's going to keep my workout balanced. But what I might do instead of a barbell deadlift with a power shrug is I might have him do a rack pull or an RDL. Those are slightly regressed versions of a hinge. So I'm using the template, but I might make some adjustments on the actual exercise so that it fits sort of his level. So this can be a great place to just generate some ideas. It can be a good place to look at understanding progression and periodization over time. And if you don't understand what these words are, that's okay. We teach them all in the program. But this resource is here. And so the reason why we bring it up at the beginning of the program is if you want something to follow while you're going through the course, maybe you try one of these. And or if you're just looking for ideas, if you're looking to get more familiar with the program and with the format, then you've got lots of ideas. So again, over 800 templates for lots of different types of goals and styles and levels. In addition to that, what's new for you guys as being this September intake is we've put a lot of work into customizing our own program design software. So through Trainerize, which is something you may have heard of, we've been working on creating a BCPTI studio version of that. And so you guys are going to be the first class that gets an opportunity to use that platform. And that for us solves one of the challenges with this program design template, because as you can see, it's all words. There's no pictures, there's no videos. And so if you were like, I don't even know what a BB deadlift to power shrug is, how does that help me? We're going to be introducing you guys to a platform that's going to allow you to do a lot more in terms of program design. There are also lots and lots and lots of programs available through that. So the program design template through PTA Global is a resource. We're aiming to give you something that we think is a little bit of a better fit to actually creating programs and actually working with clients in a more technology-friendly kind of way. So you'll have a desktop login as a trainer, and then your clients will also have their own customized app on their phone to run the program with you. So we'll be introducing that as we get towards the program design section, which should be really nice. But there's, lots of different areas to get information from, including that PDT. So that's on your account. That's one thing to look at. The next thing that we want to take a look at through that account is if we look over here on the menu, you've got all of the forms. So all the templates, all the tools that we teach, even some of the ones we don't teach, they're all here as downloadable files. So when you then move on to working as a trainer, if you want to use any of these, you have the blank copies of them to use and print off and implement in your business. So we'll teach a number of those. We'll also show you some extra ones that we use with our partners through Fitness World and some of the other gyms here in town. And in all reality, I give you some stuff that I just think works really well because I've been using it for a long time. So this is a really nice place to come for the PTA Global stuff. We'll also be giving you additional handouts in class when we look at the various things that we think they were missing or that we like to implement on our own. So there'll be lots of resources for you long-term with that as well. Okay. The other thing that I think is worth looking at in terms of the PTA Global site is just how to navigate it, how to go through the actual education. So for you guys, what you'll be looking at is the PTA Global Certified Personal Trainer course. And you'll notice that there are 297 stages complete. So what that means is we give you ungated access to the program, which means you can bounce around and go out of order and do practice quizzes and whatever. We do teach in order, so we do also recommend that you go through it in order. But if for some reason you really want to go ahead and look at nutrition, or if you want to circle back and do a quiz on something, it's ungated, it's open, you can do it in whatever order you want. That also allows you to book the exam at any time. So just in case you're feeling super motivated, or Toko, for example, you've been working on the content for a little bit before this class even started, ungated access just allows us to have easier ins and outs with that whole program. Once we actually dive into it, a couple of things to note. You guys will have a date that shows up here underneath the progress bar. That date is the timeline for you to complete the exam within the 6-month window of registration. So we take you through the program in about 8 to 9 weeks. A lot of our students feel comfortable writing the exam within a week or two of the final date of our program. So we typically see people finish within 3 months, but technically speaking, you do have more time than that. If you exceed the date that shows up beneath your progress bar, you would have to extend the course in order to get the quizzes and the practice exams and all that stuff. So in terms of the date you're trying to complete the exam by, we recommend that you do it inside of that initial window, okay? Medical concerns, questions, comments, things outside of that, we're always happy to help. But what we do notice is that getting in, being focused, getting the job done, getting the exam done, and getting to work is kind of the goal of our program. So we try to help you make sure that happens as well, okay? The take exam button, there's 2 things that happen from there. One, you can send in your file to the testing center to actually book your date. We don't recommend doing that right away because they'll give you a 60-day window. So the day you send in your file, they want you to book the exam date within 60 days. So we recommend doing that closer to the end of the program so that you don't worry about that timeline. So maybe by the last week of October or the first week of November, at that point, you might want to send your file in. The second thing you can do from there, though, is take the practice exam. So if you click take exam and scroll down, the second option is take practice exam, and that will actually allow you to work through 500 questions. There's a bank of 500 questions. The practice exam will ask you 100 at a time, which is what the final exam will do, is ask you 100 questions. So if at any point you want to test yourself and see, well, how ready am I to take the exam? The best way to study for the exam is the practice exam. So if you do it 4, 5, 6 times and you get 90% or higher, you're going to have no problem at all with the actual exam. So that's there for you as well. As we continue our way through here, on the right-hand side, you've got the option to download the manual. So that's actually the textbook in PDF format. So if you're a very electronically happy person, you might just like having the electronic version. It's over 500 pages in terms of the PDF. So if you want a hard copy, option 1 would be print it off, stick it in a binder, fine. Option 2 is we have hard copies of the textbook. Those of you that are in the day or hybrid class, that textbook cost is automatically included in your tuition. So we'll hand those out on Friday or Saturday when we see you for the first time. Those of you that are in the remote program on the island, if you want the textbook, we're very happy to get you one. We just need to ship it to you. So I would say if we jump off this call and you decide you'd rather have a hard copy of the textbook, just shoot us an email. We'll give you the details for how to do that. I'm a book learner for sure. I like to be able to highlight things and I like to physically turn pages. So if you find that that's going to be a helpful way for you to learn, then we're happy to make sure that that works for you. Okay. The second thing here is the study guide. study guide is really helpful because it basically gives you an introduction to each section, and it's got links to some of the additional resources. So in class, we're going to go through various learning activities. We get those learning activities from the booklet. So there's a link inside the study guide that takes you to the booklet. So we will print off paper copies of the ones that we want to use in class. Sometimes we might send one in a single sheet as a homework assignment, but we don't do them all. And it's mostly because some of them don't sort of match up all that successfully with how we find gyms here run. However, if you want them all, they're great learning opportunities to make sure that you're understanding the content that we're going through. So if you want them all, if you want the whole booklet, you do have access to it all through the study guide. We'll just pull the ones that we think are the most relevant. So that's available on the right-hand side as well. So those are kind of the supplemental pieces around the actual content. After that, it's just a matter of, if you were to think about the online version kind of like the textbook, there's different chapters. Each chapters have different sections. So what I would encourage you to do over the next couple of days before we meet for live class is go through the introduction section. There's a couple of videos. It'll just sort of give you an idea of where PTA Global is coming from in terms of how they put the content together. And then we're going to spend the first 3 classes going through the motivation system. So Friday, Monday is off for Labor Day. So if you're in the day class Friday, Wednesday, and then Friday, we're going to do sections 1, 2, and 3 inside of the motivation system. If you're in the hybrid class, Saturday is day 1, and then Tuesday, Thursday night next week on Zoom would be changing behavior in the interview. And if you're in the remote version, you're sort of working through a self-paced concept, but we would aim for our first Zoom call that we do to check in with you. We would be aiming to talk about the motivation system and figure out sort of the practical application of this section with you. So basically inside of each section are all these little individual videos. Don't be overwhelmed. Some of them are short, so they're anywhere between sort of 5 and 14 minutes, depending on the content. So by breaking them up into these little sections, you can find where they match in the textbook, and or you can just sort of do a couple at a time. And in general, what we recommend is do half an hour a day. So if you watch videos for half an hour a day, you'll get through the entire content in about the 8 to 9 weeks that we're in class as well. So if you sort of make a habit of getting up, going for your workout, or getting up, having your breakfast, watching half an hour video, or if you're going to do it at the end of the day or whatever, if you just get into the habit of doing half an hour every day, our brain actually absorbs information really well that way. We have about a 40-minute cap on information that we're taking in, and then we have to take a break after that. So if you do about 30 minutes a day, take some notes, do the learning activity, and then that's it for the day. You'll make your way through it. And what's neat about fitness content is it's pretty cumulative. So I have to learn a little bit about the cardiovascular system, to then go learn about cardiovascular programming, to then go learn about energy system prescriptions, to then go learn about, well, how do I now get to HIIT training by the time I'm an advanced participant, right? So you'll sort of notice that we're building on the knowledge from before as we go. So the other suggestion that I have in regards to that is try not to fall behind, because if you don't really understand something in chapter 2, you're not necessarily gonna magically figure it out in chapter 5. It's based on stuff we've learned before that, right? So if we can do half an hour every day, you'll make it through really successfully. It's kind of like exercise. You do a little bit every day, you start to get the cumulative benefits, right? One of the additional ways that we want to help you sort of navigate all of that is with the syllabus. So I'm going to pull that up for a second here. That was the 3rd document that we had attached to your email. So basically, this is a breakdown of content based on the days that you'll actually do in class. And so you'll see both the section that we're working on. So if you notice, day 1 says motivation system, understanding communication. That was the same name as the section in the website. It's also the same name as the section in the textbook. So it tells you what we're going to be talking about. And then it also tells you what the homework is. So if you're in the day or hybrid class and you happen to miss a day, you'll know what you've missed. You'll know what the homework is that went with that day. If you have any questions about it, you can always connect with Josh or myself. And we also find that the WhatsApp group chat is a great place to answer some of those types of questions, because sometimes it's just the matter of figuring out what direction we need to go in. In terms of the remote students, the homework for you is just a suggestion about how we are practically applying our knowledge. So in our weekly chats, when we work with you, If you're having trouble understanding a concept, or if you have a question about how that concept relates to your own workouts or a friend that you're working out with, or something that you've had a question about, we'll be able to point you in the direction of some of these various pieces of homework just to really help sort of solidify your knowledge in those sections. So the homework is really designed to kind of come full circle on the theory. At the end of the day, we're trying to help you both pass the exam, because that is what helps you get certified. But answering a bunch of multiple choice questions correctly does not a trainer make. So my ability to go, oh, the answer to that is B, is not really why my clients hire me. So we also want to use those homework assignments and the learning activities to go, well, what would I do with knowing the answer is B if I had a client in front of me? Oh, they're a brand new client. I'm going to have them train at zone 1 from a heart rate perspective until they build up a little bit of stamina and endurance to move to zone 2, right? So those are what sort of that stuff is designed to do, is like, okay, this is great information, but what do I do with it? What do I do with it if they're younger? What do I do with it if they're older? What do I do with it if they have an injury? What do I do with it if they want to lose weight? Do I do anything different if they're trying to gain muscle? And that's a lot of the stuff that we like to talk about in class, because that's really just putting the theory into practice, right? So again, with the homework, if you did 30 minutes of video a day, most of the homework's pretty quick, 10 to 15 minutes. Every now and again, as we get into program design, we start spending a little bit more time on homework, just because now we're actually starting to build programs and figure out stuff like that. But our goal is not to overwhelm you and not to make it unmanageable, but more so to make sure that when you come out of the program, you're like, hey, I have the confidence to actually work with a client and know what I'm doing. So things like assessments, program design, nutrition coaching, that kind of stuff, the stuff that we're going to do with clients, that's the kind of thing that we want to have you working on in the homework, so that you actually have done it a few times before you have to do it for real with a real life person. Okay? So the syllabus will sort of help you figure out the various sections that we're going through and some of the stuff that we're applying to it. So those are kind of the big pieces to the intro: navigating the website, getting a textbook if you want to, and then starting to sort of understand what we're going to do in classes. The only other thing for us to look at is just the differences between day and hybrid and remote. So I'm going to pause for a minute, open it up to you guys, ask if you have any questions about the website, about the account setup, about the syllabus, anything like that. And then once everybody's good on that, then we'll move into the class structure stuff. So I'll pause if you want to either type into the chat or unmute yourself and ask any questions you have. Give us a few minutes to do that. Go ahead. I'm just that good at explaining stuff. Okay. That's cool. It is designed to be fairly self-explanatory. Reagan says, should we start studying today? That's a great question. I will answer it the same way I answer people asking about starting a fitness program. The best day to start was always yesterday. So yes, I would encourage you to start today. You know how they say, how people say, I'm going to start on Monday, right? Like, I'm going to start my diet on Monday. I'm going to start my new program on Monday. Well, guess what? It's Monday. So yes, today would be a good day to start. You got it.
Did you send us the email?
Cameron, I'm gonna send you the pre-course email just as soon as we jump off. So those documents that I was just going through, I'll send you those as soon as I jump off the call.
Sweet, thanks.
Yeah, you got it. What do we do for practicum? That's a great question. So the practicum component is, at this point, based on the current course, at this point is optional. So what the practicum usually looks like is you go into some of our fitness world clubs. It used to be the Steve Nash and Crunch and UFC, so we've maintained the partnership with them. So the practicum, would have looked like going into the clubs, meeting the fitness team, meeting the manager, shadowing some personal training sessions or some small group training, and just kind of starting to get familiar with the lay of the land, how things work, getting to meet people, getting to know the members a little bit. And what we always suggested with the practicum was, if you live close to one of the gyms, if you know that that's really where you want to go work, if you're really excited to get on board with sort of that big box fitness forward model, then we want to give you the opportunity to get ahead of the game by sort of doing that along with the course. So that's still totally available. Things we just have to be a little bit aware of at this point are we can shadow sessions, but we have to wear masks and stand 6 feet away. We can work out in those clubs, but we have to follow the rules of the club, like social distancing, cleaning things up before and after, stuff like that. Group fitness is also a part of what we used to recommend with the practicum, like get in and take a couple of classes, see what the different styles are, essentially just become familiar with the gym. So let's say you become a trainer at that club and you've got a shirt on that says personal trainer, and someone walks up to you and they're like, hey, like, what's the best class for me to take? I'm brand new, I'm not very fit. If you know a little bit about the classes, then you can say, oh, well, let me show you. These would be a couple of good ones to take, right? So then with classes, we just have reduced capacity right now because everybody's in 12 by 12 pods. So we encourage you to show up and be a part of that, but it's also if you're safe and comfortable doing so, great. I also didn't want to make it mandatory because for the same reason that some of you are choosing to do more of the online education than the live, that just might be where we're at right now. So what you will have by, I'm going to say by tomorrow, today might be a little bit of an unfair expectation, but by tomorrow, you'll have a temporary membership set up in the Fitness World Gyms system. So what I will need from each of you in order to set that up is name, phone number, email, birthday, address. So if you're not currently a member of one of those clubs and you do want to go and access those locations, if you send me name, phone number, email, birthday, and address, we'll get that set up for you. You'll have access to those locations through till the end of October. And again, that's where I would say, meet the manager, ask about opportunities to shadow training sessions, maybe ask them a little bit about sort of what their club team is like or what their fitness philosophy is, right? Like get to know them. We sort of say it's an extended interview process where they get to know you and you get to know them. But none of it at this point is mandatory, again, just because things have changed in the last 6 months or so. But what I would suggest for each of you individually is if you have specific questions or if you have a specific goal about, hey, I really want to work here, or I really, just reach out to us and we can sort of walk you through that. We can make the introductions to the club managers. We can maybe suggest a location for you to go and check out that might do what you're asking for really well. There's some different demographics in the various locations and things like that. So we'll get that all set up for you. But if nothing else, it's an opportunity to get into the clubs and work out and just kind of see a little bit of what's happening. So name, phone number, email, birthday, and address if you'd like us to set up that temporary pass for you. Okay. All right, so then the next thing that I was just going to break down is just a little bit of the difference between the various class programs. It is somewhat relevant for everybody to know the difference because we are we're actually very student-centric. So for example, if you've signed up for the Monday, Wednesday, Friday day class and you can't come on Friday, we'd be happy for you to come on Saturday. It's the same content. If you miss Monday's class, we'd be happy for you to join the Zoom on Tuesday night. It's the same content. We wouldn't get the workout in because we'd be Zoom instead of live, but it's the same content. If you need a little bit of extra help on a certain part of the content, how we work with the remote students might give you a second opportunity to go through that content. So the reason why I was gonna sort of tell everybody what the options are is just so that you know that you can sort of pick and choose and curate and have our support in lots of different ways. And we want to make sure that you know that that's available to you. So I'm going to sort of go through the differences for each one. So depending on which program you signed up for, you were sent a different welcome package. A lot of the information is the same and then a little bit of it is different. So for the day class individuals, our goal is to have you here on Friday. Monday is Labor Day, so we won't have class on that day, and then it'll be regular Monday, Wednesday, Fridays after that. And what's unique about the day class setup is, make sure I'm sharing my screen here, not just staring blankly. There we go. Okay. So what's a little bit different about the day class format is we run something called Open Gym. So class is actually 10 till 3, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But the gym is open from 8 till 10, and again from 3 till 5. And so what we imagine this looks like is if you're a morning workout person, you come join us at 8 a.m. and we run through it's not a workout of the day in a CrossFit sense, but the workout that ties to the content that we're looking at. Scalable, customizable, personable. You know, if you've got a weight loss goal, it can look a little different than the guys that are trying to build muscle. If you've got a little bit of knee pain, it's going to look different than the person who feels like they're ready to crush it, right? But the instructors will be on hand, sometimes working out with you, sometimes facilitating the workout, and it's an opportunity to kind of get coached, right? There's a big difference between choosing to program a bench press and actually knowing what the technique of a bench press should be and what it should feel like and how to tweak around individual variants and stuff like that. So either at 8 a.m., sort of working through a 60, 75-minute workout block that gives you time to change. There are showers here. I just have to figure out if we're allowed to have them open, because in gyms right now, showers aren't open, but we'll take a look at that. Have a quick breakfast, whatever, and then the class starts at 10. For people that aren't morning people, class starts at 10, we go till 3, and then you'll be able to do that same workout from 3 till 5 or 3 till 4:30 or whatever. So one of the really nice benefits of this new location is we have our own private gym. We don't have to share it with members. We don't have to ask people to leave a studio if we need to be running something. So we want to take advantage of all of that. Understanding that those open gym times are optional. If you don't want to work out with us, if you have your own program, if you feel scared, nervous, or uncomfortable, it's up to you. Class is 10 till 3. But we've had so many requests over the years for having help, having more training, being able to learn about the things that are going to translate to that practical experience for your clients. We wanted to make sure that we could give you that opportunity, okay? So that's kind of the day class. So again, no class on Monday, that's Labor Day. There's no classes between September 28th and October 3rd. That's our reading week. So that'll be a week for you to catch up on content, get into the clubs a little bit more, shadow sessions, whatever. And then we've given ourselves the final week, which shows up here as November 2nd to 6th. We've given ourselves that as a little bit of an overflow week for questions and content on the off chance that we're missing something, we're behind a day, whatever, we have an overflow week. And for individuals that really want to go into the placement opportunities with the Fitness World Clubs, that's also the opportunity for you to go through your practical evaluation, which is basically like a working interview. You're going to get a client profile, you're going to create a workout, you're going to take a client through a workout, and that's us check marking you to say you're ready to go and start working as a trainer right away. If you're in the program because you want to work on your own, you want to work online, you want to go work somewhere else, you can still choose to come and do that. It's actually really nice to get some feedback on your sort of intake process. But it's not a requirement of completing the program. It just helps us fast track your placement. Okay? So that's the day class. I'm going to pause for a minute because I just realized that the plug I plugged into is not actually working and I don't want my computer to die. So Josh, I'm going to open it up to you if you want to take a couple minutes and say hello or offer any of your valuable wisdom about any of the things that I've covered so far. And I'm going to go find a plug.
Sure. Yeah, sounds good. There's a lot of information going on right now, and that's just basically how we're getting set up for the classes. The common, I guess, concern that students have early on is that the amount of content that comes at you is going to be very fast paced for the first few weeks, because it's a lot of exercise science stuff, you know, how the body works, how the different systems work. And then of course, how does that translate to a client's experience and how can we explain it to them in a way that's exciting? But I will say, like Logan was mentioning earlier, the way that the content is set up is it continues to build on itself. So if you feel overwhelmed early on, don't worry so much about it. Stick to the 30 minutes a day, 30 to 60 minutes a day type of prescription for learning and watching videos. Do the learning activities, ask really good questions. And the more often we get into these class discussions where everybody understands what's going on, the more confident and qualified you're going to feel come the end of the program. Do you guys have any preliminary kind of concerns off the bat? Pretty straightforward so far. Just excited and eager to get into class. Perfect. Cool. Well, I mean, that's really all I have to kind of tell you guys. It's almost like we don't know what we don't know until we get into class. So just kind of keep that open. Like we do have this kind of open door concept where it's like, please ask questions, please seek out advice and help, because I know that personally, and Logan included, like we really thrive off of your engagement, and that's the way that we can teach better and for you guys to learn better as well. So keep the conversation rolling.
One question.
Yes.
Are you guys coming to the island side to just meet with the island staff, or?
Yeah, let me answer that. I found a new plug, so we're good to go. So for the remote program, we are going to, there's kind of two options. There's some people from the island that are coming to Vancouver for the Saturday live classes. So that's an option. I'm from the island.
What time is the Saturday ones?
So 9 till 4, but knowing the ferry schedule, we'll kind of dither a little bit and let those people arrive. It'll probably take you about till 9:30 to actually get into the location. So we give you that option on the Saturdays. So that's one option. I'm from the island myself, and I love the commute. I get a lot done on the ferry. It's a nice little there and back. So I decided that might not be so bad for some people. So that's an option. The other thing we will do for the remote students is the weekend of October 16th and 17th. Nope, 17th and 18th. I might have typoed that in the original notes. Saturday the 17th and Sunday the 18th. We're going to come to you. Mateo will invite you to come up to Nanaimo because the bulk of the remote students are in Nanaimo. So we'll actually be at the Fitness World location in Nanaimo. We'll go through 2 days of kind of intensive live learning, including your CPR and first aid course. So we'll smush that all together in 2 weeks for you. And again, if you're choosing to take advantage of the pass and work out at the club and whatever, Jacob, who's the GM there, he's actually one of my former trainers from the Victoria Club. And I've helped him a couple times with just giving some extra education and stuff like that. So it's actually a really awesome group of people, just based on the conversations that I've had so far. We've already talked about sort of getting together and practicing some of the stuff that we're learning as a group. So there'll be some opportunities where we can facilitate a little bit of that for you as well. But we'll come over and kind of smash out an awesome 2 days in October. It'll catch you up on a lot of the stuff that will translate into client service. There you go. Okay, cool. So then the only other details are for the hybrid program. So let me bring that one up. Hybrid class, there we go. So the differences for this group is Tuesday and Thursday night classes are going to be on Zoom. So again, if any of you want some extra help on content or miss a live class, you can always catch up on those. And I have recordings from all the live classes all the Zoom classes we've done over the last 4 months. So if there's any section where you're like, I just need a little bit of an explanation, I've recorded all of those as well. They're all YouTube videos. So I can send out links to any of that. So especially those of you that are in the remote program, if you need a little bit of extra help, we've got all those videos as well. And then on the Saturdays, the 9 to 4 live is going to include a workout. It's going to allow us to do a lot of the practical stuff, hands-free practical. There's definitely a little bit where we sort of talk about physical cueing and stuff, but we'll work through all the practical stuff in those Saturday classes. So the Chilliwacks and the Abbotsfords and the people that have sort of full-time jobs during the day will sort of take advantage of that Saturday live class, and that'll be hosted here at our teaching gym. There will be no live class on Saturday, September 12th. We're hosting a course here that weekend, so you'll get 6 live Saturdays out of the 7 or 7 out of the 8 or something like that. And then the last date that matters for those of you that are here in Vancouver is that your CPR will be Saturday, October 24th. So whether you're in the hybrid program, whether you're in the day program, that comes included as part of your tuition. If you cannot make it on that day, if you try to change your schedule and there's just no way, we can connect you with our first aid provider. They do offer courses kind of all over the place. So we have that option, but it would be awesome, awesome, awesome if you can make it to that date to get your CPR. So those are kind of the main details. So day class, hybrid class, remote class, a couple things going on. I'm actually super excited to sort of juggle these components because it allows us to help more people get certified, and it allows us to work with more people in terms of launching themselves into a fitness career. So thank you to all of you for sort of giving us the opportunity to do what we love in a couple of different ways. That is just about everything I felt like I needed to tell you. But I will again pause, open it up if anybody has any questions. And then after that, it's like, get into the content, and we'll see you on Friday or Saturday, or when you set up your Zooms, whatever that looks like. So that's pretty much all for me. So open up to you guys, last opportunity. If you have any questions, this would be your moment.
Josh was telling me that your Zoom meetings Tuesday and Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the on Friday and Saturday? It's the live ones, right?
Yeah, so the day class is all live Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The hybrid class is the Tuesday, Thursday Zoom and the Saturday live. The remote students are more than welcome to participate in the hybrid program. So if you want to do Tuesday, Thursday Zoom and come over Saturday, you're more than welcome. We have an option to upgrade you to that. If you don't want to come on Saturday, but you do want to join the Tuesday, Thursday night, awesome, cool. Like I said, you can kind of pick and choose from the various things that work for you.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Sure. Awesome. Okay, looks like I did an okay job explaining. I saw you guys taking notes and everything, so that's awesome. So what I would say at this point is, if you have not yet sent me an email with your WhatsApp number, or send it to me through WhatsApp, doesn't really matter. But if you haven't connected with me that way, my goal is to have everybody in a WhatsApp group. What we've noticed out of the last sort of 6 months is, let's say you have a question about an exercise, you type the question in, there's somebody else in the group that for sure has the same question. What it allows Josh and I to do is either record a quick video or give you a typewritten answer, or we can send you a link to a YouTube video that we know has a longer description. We have so many resources, we can't possibly give them to you all because they're kind of like, we answer questions as they come up. Some people have questions about dead bugs, some people don't, right? So the group is great because all the stuff that we can't really quite fit into class, or all the stuff that we just want that sort of supplemental layer of information about, we have it. And the WhatsApp group is just a really great place to keep it all in one place. If I have to send links out via email, then when people reply to emails and reply all to emails, email kind of becomes this monster, whereas the group is just a nice place for everything to be contained. So if you would like to be a part of that, it's a really great little resource. We leave it live forever, so you can always go back and look at those resources. You can always reconnect with your peers in the future, so we leave those up and running. So I would love to have you all join me there. And then if you want the 8-week, 9-week, whatever access to the Fitness World locations, then please send me that via email, because I'll just forward it to the manager of operations. So that's name, phone, email, birthday, address, and we'll get that loaded up. Like I said, probably by tomorrow it would be ready to go. That would allow you to get into the clubs, contactless check-in, et cetera, et cetera. And you'd have an all-access membership for the length of time that we're in the program. So those are kind of the takeaways from today. Outside of that, go ahead and jump in, start working through some videos. Remote students who are not going to be joining us live on Saturday, if you want to sort out getting your textbooks, again, please email me. It doesn't take too long to get it over to you. We just have to navigate those details. And outside of that, thank you to those of us that joined us this morning. And Nate, I will connect with you after. If you want to just stay on the Zoom, I'll turn off the recording and we'll sort that out for you. And then everybody else, we're excited to get started. Thank you all for joining us. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns in the meantime, you can reach out via email, via text, via it's the technology age. So find us however it makes the most sense for you. And we're excited to get things up and rolling. So we'll all see you very soon.
Hi, Logan.